As far as I'm concerned, you're allowed to film here. You're right. We're a one-party consent state, and you can film anytime you want. Do you have ID on you? Just to let you know, anytime you're involved in something that we get called for, we are compelled to ID.
Hey everybody, it's James Freeman. Today's video is coming to us from Who's Your Auditor on YouTube. Make sure and head over there, check out his channel, and subscribe. On this particular day, Who's Your Auditor was recording matters of public interest from a public sidewalk. This is a big issue because narratives need to be controlled by those in power.
Today in Valparaiso, Indiana, at a test site to audit and see if they respect our right to record in public spaces. This line has gotten pretty long. It'll go all the way out to just about to the roundabout down there. When it is December 9th at 9:05 a.m. for those of you who like to know.
After less than 5 minutes, a bossy lady comes out and tries to tell them that the public sidewalk is private property.
Oh.
That's why you guys are recording?
Just a journalist gathering content for a story.
Okay, this is a private property, and these are patients that are getting tested. That is a HIPAA violation.
This is private property?
Yes, it is.
This here? The sidewalk is private property?
If you guys do not leave and stop recording our patients being tested, we will have to call the police.
Do what you need to do.
To some people, it may seem harmless what these women are doing, but there's nothing harmless about calling a guy with a gun to try to get him to force your will on somebody else. Of course, the officer immediately approaches the person doing nothing illegal, rather than going to talk to the person that called on him for doing nothing illegal.
Hello.
What's going on today?
Just a journalist gathering content for a story.
What'd you say?
I'm a journalist gathering content for a story.
Okay. You're obviously allowed to film here.
Yep.
This is sidewalk. Were you up there filming at some
Nope, stayed on the sidewalk the whole time.
Okay. Did they come and talk to you at all?
Yeah, they did.
What'd they say?
They came out saying I was on private property and it was a HIPAA violation.
Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, you're allowed to film here. You're right. We're a one-party consent state, and you can film anytime you want. Just don't go on their property.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have ID on you?
I do, but I'm not going to give it to you.
Just to let you know, anytime you're involved in something that we get called for, we are compelled to ID. Just to let you know, anytime you're involved in something that we get called for, we are compelled to ID.
Indiana IC 34-28-5-3.5 Refusal to Identify. It is a misdemeanor for a person to knowingly and intentionally refuse to provide their papers to a law enforcement officer who has stopped the person for an infraction or ordinance violation. Officer J. Hand specifically articulated that Who's Your Auditor has not committed any violations, and then proceeded to tell him that he's required to ID.
As far as I'm concerned, you're allowed to film here. You're right. We're a one-party consent state, and you can film anytime you want. Do you have ID on you?
I believe that Officer J. Hand knew perfectly well that Who's Your Auditor was not obligated in any way to ID. But evil people who intend to do others harm will always lie, manipulate, and try to see what kind of abuse they can get away with.
Just to let you know, anytime you're involved in something that we get called for, we are compelled to ID.
That's not true. You have to have a reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime.
That's fine. If they say that you were on their property, I'm going to ID you. Okay?
It seems to me that Officer Hand already knew he was lying, which is why as soon as Who's Your Auditor called him out, he immediately changed to, oh well, if you were on their property, then I'm going to get ID. Even if Who's Your Auditor was on the property, it's a business, and it's open to the public right now. He would have the right to be there unless he was trespassed by the property owners. At which point, if he refused to leave, then he would be obligated to ID. For those watching, don't mistake Officer Hand's cool, calm, and collected behavior for him being a good cop. He's trying everything possible to violate Who's Your Auditor's rights. He's just not yelling and screaming while he does it.
I obviously wasn't on their property. I can show you on the video I wasn't on their property.
If you want to do that, that's fine. If I talk to them and they say you do, if you want to just show me that you weren't, that's fine. Okay?
Okay.
Officer Hand spends about a minute talking to the bossy ladies that called a guy with a gun to try to force their will on somebody else. Let me know in the comments below what you think is worse, police violence or people that call and ask for police violence.
Alright, you guys are all good. Like I said, they didn't say you came out of the property, so
Alright.
they're concerned about you filming people, but I said, you know, you're allowed to, you're on public property here, so as long as you don't go on their property, you're good to go.
Yep.
Alrighty?
I know. All right, thanks.